Hello and welcome to Movie Mayhem. So, doing these quick reviews, I went with the Steadicam here. Today, we're going to talk about Dawn of Justice. The director's cut is available on streaming now, with the Blu-ray coming out in a couple weeks. I think the Blu-ray hit foreign markets this week as well. Of course, I ordered the Blu-ray, but I couldn't really wait to watch the whole cut. So, a little disclaimer, of course, I'm sticking with my thing. Let directors make their own movies and put them out. If they suck, they suck. I get it. You gotta cut a movie down to 2.5 hours to get enough showtimes in a day to make sure you get your weekend box office number, to get the headlines and media hype, which, I don't know, it really, really is an impact to the art. So, I really liked it in the theater. But this version is better. It's more complete. You're getting the full vision. A lot of stuff, it was hard to even tell what was missing, and it didn't feel, nothing felt inserted. Everything had a very natural flow to it. If you've seen some stuff where it's just an extended version, it's not the director's version, there's just extra scenes added, you'll notice a kind of a lack of continuity, more of a, it's in here, right, to make it longer. And it didn't have that. So, I haven't really talked about this movie yet. Let's talk about the really good stuff. The score. This is one of the best Zimmer scores I've heard in a very long time. Fantastic. The special effects are stunning. Cinematography, amazing. The costume design. Something I don't really pay a lot of attention to unless you're in a period film, but really good costuming in this. The way everybody dressed, it just worked. I felt like I was pulled into that world. The casting, you've got such a good, brilliant set of actors in one movie. It's so well casted. I have no complaints. I felt the same way about Man of Steel too. I think Snyder's very good with his casting choices. I would put, to be upfront here, I'd say Dawn of Justice is up there with one of the best comic movies ever made. I would put it on par with Dark Knight. And Dark Knight gets a knockdown strictly because I really felt Gyllenhaal's performance kind of sucked away from that character. Whereas this, literally every person is dead on. Every character, I love the way they're portrayed. So, Batman, this to me is the Batman again I've wanted to see, just much like Man of Steel was the Superman I've wanted to see. I like angry old pissed off Batman. I like that guy. It's Dark Knight. It's not quite as horrifically cynical as Miller's Dark Knight, but you're close. This is a guy where I'm watching, I feel his age. I feel his pain and anger and frustration with how the world is. So let's, talk a little about the movie. Obviously, I'm going to hit some spoilers here, so if you haven't seen it, it's a fantastic film. It's the best film I've seen of the year, and easily one of my top superhero movies, easily. Best thing I've seen since Man of Steel. I'd say I'd put it up there with Watchmen being a little bit better and right on par with Dark Knight. This gives me everything I wanted in a superhero translation. I'm getting it's a good film. This is a film. It's not just a comic book movie. It's actually, they're dealing with very serious issues. Guilt, dealing with that godhood feeling. This is Superman's a man who wants to do the right thing, and people are placing him on this pedestal that he can never live up to. And he has to deal with understanding that. Whereas you have the Batman character wants to do all the same. He wants to help all these people, but he can't for different reasons. And you've got that opposition there. And Bruce Wayne's own pain over not being able to save his parents translates in this anger towards this guy who could do everything, right? If he would have been Superman, perhaps he could have saved him. Wonder Woman is really great. Gal Gadot, perfect casting to me. I'm probably an inordinately large Wonder Woman fan, so those are I've read every Wonder Woman comic that ever was printed up until about 3-4 years ago. She was great. Loved her thing. Even had the sonic blast from the bracelets, or whatever you want to call it. That was pretty cool. But they played her well. Her introduction was well. There were real issues in this film, and I think it's much harder to deal with because it's a very cynical and nihilistic film for most of it. You know, they pull you into this darkness, and you don't get that feeling until the end. You know, with where Bruce Wayne finally realizes that, wait, I'm being a jackass here. You know, I'm letting my rage overtake me, which Alfred kept saying that. You know, you're going too far in the dark road, and when you're dealing with this on a psychological level, the pain that he's dealing with, it just keeps getting darker and darker and darker. And everything he's trying to do behind the scenes, Luthor's making sure all these people die, they go to prison, and it's his fault, so he's feeling a guilt. Then at the same time, you've got, Superman thinking, well, hey, wait, he's getting these people killed. He may not be doing it himself, but he's doing it on purpose, but he's not, of course. The director's cut version very much makes it clearer that Luthor was orchestrating all of this stuff, and that was great, very appreciative. A lot more character development building up, a lot more around the interactions with Clark Kent, especially doing stuff with different people before the trial, and that really just added to the depth of the characters. I think Doomsday looked really cool. I like they used the different stages of Doomsday, and by the end he looked cool. I thought he was going to look goofy originally. That was kind of my worry when I heard he was going to be in it. Really, it's hard to even criticize the film. To me, it's a perfect film. There's nothing I would have changed about it. I mean, there's stuff I wanted to see. Sure, I wanted to see Aquaman jump up and give the spear, but it would have been stupid. And I said that when we were in the theater watching. We're like, oh man, it would have been cool with Aquaman. And when we sat there and looked at each other, like, yeah, I thought that too. And you think about it, it's like, no, why the hell would he be there? And then that begins pandering. They drop hints at the for the Justice League, which is cool, but it's very background-ish. It's kind of like, here, you got a little bit of this, but it didn't have that pandering feeling. They do a lot of stuff, like with the Mother Box, where they don't explain it at all. Steppenwolf, they don't explain it at all. It works, though. I like that nuance. You're setting some stuff up, but one, you're not wasting a lot of time on it. And two, it adds an element to the film. If you don't know anything about this stuff, you're kind of like, wait, what was that? And it wasn't so prominent in the film that it pissed you off because you didn't understand what the hell was going on, but it makes you think and want to see. So the Wonder Woman movie is going to be more of an origin, which is cool. When they go to the Justice League movie, I'm really curious to see how they go with this. And of course, then we have the Affleck directed Batman movie with I believe Johns is writing it. So I mean, honestly, Johns is my favorite writer. Period. Out of even the old school guys, Johns was his first stuff I read was Stars and Stripes, just blew me away. And even his Avengers run, I swear, if you want to read the best Avengers run ever, go get Jeff Johns' Avengers run. I was floored. I'm like, because usually, honestly, the Avengers comic is always kind of, for a comic, they're always better than their solo stuff. But his run was fantastic. All of his stuff is really great. It's the man that made Hawkman make sense. And now we've got a world. I'm gonna veer off here. We've got a world where I get to watch The Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and probably a JSA show now. And they can all possibly exist in that. We talked about this last year with some of my friends. I think we're going to get a Crisis movie. I'm thinking after season 7 of The Flash, or right around there, maybe we'll get a Crisis movie. They've got it set up for that. There's little hints throughout that we could get the movie universe, the TV universe, all interacting in such a grand scale, where you've got a 2-part Crisis movie in the theaters, And then you got all the TV shows running stuff, through them, popping up maybe in the movies or however you want to do it. If I get that, really, what's the point? I'm done. I don't need to watch anything else ever after seeing something like that. I like the little hints they dropped. Cyborg's cool. They're using the new origin, which makes sense. Of course, Momoa's fantastic. Flash, I don't know. I mean, he looked okay. I don't know much about him. I loved his appearance in Dawn of Justice. That was very cool. And you could tell it wasn't a dream sequence because everything was still moving around when Bruce jumps up. It's just such a great film. Watch it. I mean, I highly recommend it. Watch Man of Steel before, then watch this. And, you got to think this is a Bruce Wayne too, who's been through all that stuff. We know, Joker killed Robin and stuff, and so all the main key storylines from the comics, they've happened to this character. He's there, so he feels very special. When I'm watching these things, I'm like, this guy's been through a lot. They drop a hint. I think we might even get a glimpse of Luthor in Suicide Squad when they hit the when they, go through Arkham Asylum, which I'm sure will be there a while. So that's the next one up. Ayer did a good job with the movies he's done. I think that's going to be pretty cool, so I'm looking forward to that too. So anyway, that's my Dawn of Justice review. Fantastic. So check it out. And I will get to series reviews soon, I promise. I've got a lot going on here in personal life, so I'm really short on time here and there. But I promise I'm going to get to those soon, hopefully in the next couple weeks to a month, but you'll understand coming up why it's taking me a while. So I hope you like it. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time at Movie Mayhem.